You can't mention Joe Rogan on this podcast. We can't give him.
He's a direct competitor.
Nate, do the intro this time.
Shout out Impulsive.
All right. Welcome back to the CTTV Podcast. I'm your host,
No, you're
Nate.
not. We're all.
I am one of
The co-host.
3
Is
hosts.
the word.
I'm a co-host.
This is how bands break up.
Wait
Hey,
a minute.
The ego gets in the way.
Okay,
I'm
Nate
the drummer.
fucking sucks at this.
Episode
welcome back to
30,
CTTV,
suck my dick.
Episode 30. It's your normal hosts, Dane and Israel, and Nate, and we have a guest here today. No, it's not Ty. It's Dustin. Introduce
Hello.
yourself, Dustin.
I am Dustin. That's all I got to really, that's the only thing I can say.
We'll learn about you throughout the rest of this podcast.
I want an entire autobiography by the end of the night.
Oh, yeah, you will get one. And I promise a lot of this will be interesting.
I'm excited.
All right, let's start off with just give a brief synopsis of who you are.
I'm Dustin from Oceano, California. Lived in California my whole life. Really excellent place to be, I guess. Do music. Guess I was known as the class clown.
I'd say that's fair.
Dude, so many times I've gotten thrown out of class and just been like, worth it. It's never not a payoff to be the funny person in class.
I would agree.
Not even like tooting your own horn, but it's just like the best high you can ever get, in my opinion, is being an entertainer to someone else.
Yeah, just absolutely killing it.
That's why I like to be mean to people out loud in class, is because if I'm doing it and it's funny, not only am I enjoying being a dickhead, but there are other people in the room enjoying me being a dickhead, and that's sweet.
It's even better when you're being a dickhead to the one annoying girl who sits in the corner of the class who just judges everybody else.
Oh yeah, the one who judges dishes out, but if you're you just need to shut up.
If you're the asshole to that girl, I swear to God, you will become the king of the entire class just because you're hating on this one specific chick. But
Rock on.
It hurts, man.
yeah, that's me. Just do 2 things and
Hey, if you
that's
can't-
it.
if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Stop playing with fire.
Stop, idiot.
Don't even step up
Bitches.
to bat.
Be crazy. Be shopping.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've never heard awkward silence in a podcast until now. That was great.
It happens a lot. You should listen to some of the early episodes where we're just like, yeah, so I did this crazy thing, and then Israel's like, damn, that was a terrible story.
And then
was you,
and then
fucker.
silence.
Yeah.
So Kobe's dead.
Oh yeah, that's.
That was a year ago.
I will admit right now that was one of my idols all time. I cried for a fucking month when that happened.
It is one of those things that's like,
Yeah?
So when that happened, Dane made a joke about it, right when it happened, and Ty said, "Too soon, man." And both me and Dane were like, "No, that's fucking funny."
it was, no, I can't say.
You're like the Walmart version of Ari Shafir.
It was funny, but if Dane doesn't want to say it, I'll respect his decision.
I can't remember which one it was.
I would
There's
encourage
one.
saying it.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay, I'll say one thing that relates to the whole death stuff. So on New Year's Day, my grandma passed away, and she died of having she had a stroke on Halloween, and then she was paralyzed. That happened, and I was FaceTiming this one girl. And I forgot what we were talking about. It was just banner and shit, just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And she was laughing about something. She's like, "Oh my God, I almost had a stroke." And I was like, "Good choice of words, asshole." And I made her feel like such a small piece in the world. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Damn.
You have a
old.
relative die when you're really, really young, so you can pull that card and be like, haha, your grandpa sucks. And you're like, my grandpa's dead. What of it?
Yeah.
You're like, no, that's not something
It doesn't affect you at all,
Yeah.
really, but people still feel bad.
Because as a little kid, you're like, I don't care about dying. And then you hit 18, and you're like, I think about this
Still
way
don't
too
care
much.
about dying.
Rock on.
Well, you're an anomaly. We've said this a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are some of these crazy stories you have for us?
Oh, crazy stuff. All right, I'll tell you guys this much. Back in middle school, when we all used to be in that shithole of a place, I remember all the time people would be like, Dustin is going to be the one who does drugs, is gonna be a complete fucking drunken mess by the time we reach high school.
Yeah, and now it's Dane.
Everybody who said that became that fucking person,
Yeah.
and that's a flex
That's awesome.
on me because I'm straight. I don't do anything like that. So suck it, bit like no, but
Yeah.
not. But like I remember everybody who said that back in school was like, "Oh yeah, Dustin, he's a fucking idiot. He's gonna be the one who's like all drugged out by the time we're 20 and stuff."
And you're like, nah, I'm just funny without being high.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get that high off laughter in life, and I know that's like a fruity thing to say for other
I'm high on
people.
life, man.
I'm high on life, dude. But like, not. But I will say this. I have done crystal meth
What?
on accident. On accident.
second.
So I
You need to back up a few steps here.
so I guess they were right. I guess they were right. But nah, this is a crazy story. So
That was a solid leeway.
yeah, you hear that, guys? Everybody in middle school, you guys were right. But nah, so it was during when I got kicked out of Paulding, and I was up at my new school, whatever, where all like the fucking gangbangers, drug dealers, and all that shit, those people were. And I remember it was during lunchtime, and it was like winding down to the end of the day and stuff. And me and my friends are sitting on this table, like in the middle of the school where everybody usually goes. And we're sitting there, and I see this like stuff on the table, and I look at my friend Pedro, and I was like, "Oh, dude, like, what's that in the corner?" And he scrapes it up with his pinky, and he's like, "Oh, that's scante." And if you don't know what scante means, it's crystal meth. And I was like, "You're bulls. Who the fuck would bring crystal meth to a school?" Like, obviously,
middle school?
no,
Make sure.
being too gullible, because like this is the school where all the drug dealers
Okay,
and
so this
people
is
who
the
got
next
kicked
school.
out. Yeah, this is like the place where everybody's been kicked out for doing bad shit. So I'm like, no, no one would do that here. Like, you do crystal meth in an alleyway or in the comfort of your own home. You don't do it at a place where you're gonna get yelled at.
People who are bad.
Yeah. So I'm being very gullible, and I was like, oh no, that's Fun Dip.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I just yell something out, like, that's Fun Dip, that's sugar, that's not, no, that can't be. And he's like, oh yeah? Try it. And I was like, yeah, fine. So I scraped it closer to me, snorted it, and I was like, yes. See you. I just start like automatically. It was the worst fucking headache I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Cause like you always see those like Breaking Bad episodes or just like whatever like drug TV movie shit, and like right when they take that hit, it's just instant.
Just like,
Yeah, like you get that feeling, and I was like, I really just did that. And he's like, yeah, I fucking told you what it was, and you said it was Fun Dip.
and this dude who was doing it, was he just like just the same, or was like he also like tripping out?
Nah, he just saw me do it.
He didn't do it.
Like, yeah, it was just my friend who like showed me it, and I was just like, oh my god, what the fuck is gonna happen? Because like there's been stories of just people taking one bump of one thing and lights out.
It's
that's
over.
it. Yeah, that's it. So I was sitting there with like mad anxiety, like, holy shit,
They
what's
better
gonna
fuck
happen?
this with something or I'm gonna die.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, I guess the good.
I'm so fucking right now.
Guys, we have all just partaken in crystal meth tonight on the podcast.
Oh my god.
I think it's
Israel's
safe to
feeling
say
it first.
You're the first meth head we've ever had on the podcast.
I think so.
I have the teeth to prove it.
Yeah.
Aw, damn.
Throat just got a brick chucked at.
Although
Is that a symptom of meth? Probably.
I don't know. I don't
Bricks?
No,
he
but
can do the meth cheek face though, which I think is his image on the thing.
think it is.
Maybe.
The sunken
Yeah. If you want to see what a meth head looks like, just look at my face.
But the thing is, it wasn't like a lot. It was a residue of crystal meth,
Yeah.
but like it's still crystal meth. It's
Yeah.
not better either way you put it.
Yeah.
So after I snort that, I go back to the last class of the day that I have, and I'm fucking losing it. Like I'm like, I'm leaning over on my desk. I'm just I'm out of it, dude. And my friend Albert, who was a senior at the time, I think I was like freshman, sophomore, like I was still very young, still new to the school. That's why I was so gullible with everything. And he's like, dude, like, you're fucked up right now. And that was my first time ever getting high. And it was by complete accident.
Oh, wait.
And so
No, I can't have the dog.
Is this allowed right
No,
now?
wait, Ramen. What are you doing? Why? Who did this?
doggo.
Why? Who let
This
the dog
is
in
the
here? Why'd you bring the dog in
He
here?
was barking. He heard the voices.
Oh, I see.
He heard
Voices
Crystal.
are
He
getting
heard
louder.
Crystal and just came running.
We're kind of busy right now. No, he's sniffing. All right, fine. We just make him sit.
I actually have a story that relates to a dog. So great segue. Thank you
Yeah.
for bringing the dog in here.
Yeah, that works.
But going off of the one we were just talking about, so I called my mom like instantly. I was in the middle of class. We weren't allowed to have phones at this school, but I called my mom instantly. I was like, yo, you need to pick me up. I am having a headache. And she's like, oh, why? Like, are you okay? And I couldn't tell. You're not just going to tell your mom, oh, yeah, I just did a bump of crystal. Like, I'm all right. Like, so that happens. My mom comes and picks me up. And I literally sleep the day away.
Oh man.
I felt like fucking Jim Morrison. It was the tightest shit. Like, like you have that moment of clarity of what you just did when you're coming off of that high, when you're just like, that just happened, and then you lights out, you're gone. You fucking go to sleep for 6 hours, and I was just like, yeah, that. I did crystal by accident. And that's a story that always gets people intrigued because, like, they'd be like, Dustin, have you ever done drugs? And I'm like, nah, I don't smoke weed. Don't do. I did crystal, though.
I did crystal. I tried that once.
Nah, it's always funny because they're like, wow, you fucking jumped the gun on everything. You didn't smoke a joint. You didn't pop a perk or anything. You went straight to crystal meth.
Yeah, I mean, gotta go all the way.
You gotta go all the way. It's
Gotta
go
go all
big
the
or
way.
go home.
Yeah.
Have you guys had that moment in middle school where like someone's like, hey, you wanna go back there and like take a hit of this joint or something?
No, I was
Never in
offered
middle school.
tobacco once at track and field, and he's like, "You want some of this?" I was like, "No, you fucking loser! Why would I want your tobacco?" Like that's out of all the things,
That's gonna win me the race.
Yeah, dude.
You took the total opposite approach with your mom. When I was at as I did when I was at the first party I ever went to, you know, everyone was smoking weed and drinking, right? And I'm like, yo, I ain't really about this because I'm not really a person who, you know, looks to do those things, right?
Yeah.
So I call my mom and I'm like, hey, do you mind?
They're drinking, they're smoking here. I can't fucking handle it. Please help me.
I just said, do you mind if I get high? And my mom's all, what the fuck? Yes, don't. And then I did.
That's the difference though. That's the fucking difference though, is my mom smokes, and I fucking one day I was going through our closet because we share a closet, and I found her fucking high school diary. And literally the whole back page, it's like it's almost like a binder. You know how like if you like collect football cards or whatever, like you usually put them in a binder and like slide them in like the little plastic thing. In the back of the fucking binder, she has all these like baseball card type things of fucking weed plants. So it's like stats of what the weed is.
It gets to a +10 and fucking up in a -3 in perception.
Literally, I've never told, like, I think I discovered she smoked when I was like 6 or 7, and I never told her because I was just like, yo, it's the anxiety of her trying to hide it is funny to me. She's like, okay, I gotta keep him away from this. He's never gonna know. It's like, Mom, I was 6 and I saw your bong hanging in the fucking cabinet.
You
Like,
just come home and you're just like, you smell that? It smells kind of.
I'm a fucking weirdo because I used to recreate her cough as a kid after she got done smoking. She had this distinct fucking cough every time she'd get done smoking. She'd go, ahem, ahem. And I remember just hearing that, just like, ahem, ahem. And like, It's so stupid. And I was like, what the fuck is caught? Like, does she have lung cancer or something? Like, I was very concerned. And like, one day I was just looking through all of her shit, and then I just saw a bong there, and I was like, oh,
okay, all right.
No wonder you're a cool mom.
Cool moms smoke weed. Take notes.
That's facts. She's put up with a lot of my shit.
Cool moms love
Like-
you, even if you smoke weed.
Imagine what you've seen that I do at school and just like come home with all that fucking energy and stuff. Like, she's put up with a lot. And she's also saved my life too.
Yeah.
And that is where we segue into the dog story. So, do you remember this movie with Tim Allen where it's like the fucking dumbass version of Spider-Man? He gets
Shaggy
bit.
dog?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gets bit by a dog, then turns into a fucking dog. It's the dumbest fucking movie ever.
Yeah.
But I remember I was still very young. I was like 6 or 7 again at the time. And we went to go see that movie in theaters. And I was being a little fat ass, and I was crying outside of the theater because we couldn't get more popcorn. I was like, Mom, I want more popcorn. She's like, stop being fat. We're not getting any more fucking popcorn. So she dragged me to the women's bathroom and was like, look, we're not getting any more popcorn. We're going to go home, and then you could have whatever there. And so I was like, okay. And like before that, like obviously what you do with your kids when they're being little fucking brats, you smack them up a little bit. Like that's just the thing, because like I had no reason to cry over some fucking popcorn, bro. Like, like, okay, shout out Regal Theater because y'all make some really good buttery popcorn, but I had no reason to fucking cry over that. So my mom's dragging me out of the theater, and I'm still getting like the sniffles out, and I'm still crying because she just like smacked my ass very, very hard. So we walk out of the theater, and nosy white people come to my aid when I didn't need it. So there's like this family outside the theater in the parking lot. And there's like this old white woman there. She's like middle-aged. She has her like 2 older sons and like whatever, like some younger sons too. Mm-hmm. I remember this very vividly because I've not gotten over my trauma. But
it's like Israel's Cheeto.
Oh my God.
So they're like, oh my God, are you okay? Like what happened? And if you've seen my mom and seen me, I look white. I'm just white. And she'll even say that shit to me too. Like, I'm like, Mom, why do I have like burns all over my arm? She's like, 'cause you're fucking white. Like, like she'll tell me herself. And she's half like Mexican, Spanish, native, and all that. So she looks more browner than me. And I almost said like I was about to cry. No, but she looks more like tan and more brown than me. So this family was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And like she did this like you know how when you want your toddler to walk over to, like you put your hands out and like you do this, like the whole grabby. Yeah, the grabby. She was doing that, and she was like, "Is that your mom? Can you come here? Can I save you?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna go home with my mom." But she was totally convinced that I wasn't related to her because her skin doesn't really look the same.
Yeah.
And so me and my mom are like speed walking to our fucking car because like these fucking people are weird as fuck. And we get in the car. She puts me in the back seat. She's ready to go. And these fucking Trump supporters probably now, because that's just what their fucking vibe was, is they stand there like some fucking Nazi soldiers, arms folded on both sides of my mom's car, like they're fucking guarding a damn tour bus for Judas Priest. Like, it's the stupidest shit. So they're guarding my mom's car so she can't back out of the driveway. Mm-hmm. And they call the cops. My mom calls my grandpa because he's gonna save the day. He was a firefighter, so she was like, all right, that's a connection. Yeah, he could probably get these people to fuck off. So from my house to Regal Theater, it's probably like
10 minutes?
10 minute, like a
Yeah.
10-minute drive. He came there in 3 minutes flat. he
Put down the phone. You're like, is that him getting off the phone?
like literally he came there in like 3 minutes flat. Don't know how he did it. He's a fucking angel. But he got these people to leave, but they were still so convinced that that wasn't my mom. And what makes it worse is that my grandpa was even fucking browner than my mom was. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? So the cops had to pull me out of the back seat and they had to ask me, is this your mom? Is this your Jan? And I was like, yeah, that I go with these people every day. And it was the scariest shit in the world because I was like,
Is it my mom? Is she my mom?
you start rethinking.
Yeah.
But it was like, based off that, you can just think how fucking like nosy people are like that, who get into business and they don't have any business being in that sort of thing. It freaks you out because it's like,
I totally understand that perspective, but there are so many people who are like abused all the time, and all they need is someone like those nosy.
yeah, no, that's the
really
thing.
is,
As a kid, I look at them as like, you're a fucking asshole because like you tried taking me away from my mom, but then it's like the second time it's like, maybe if I was being sold to an elderly Russian man, like this would be a great time to be stopped. But yeah, I remember that being a very traumatic experience because I was like, what the fuck? And I used to have like dreams, like after that event happened, I used to have dreams like, what if they did take me?
I have like kind of like an almost. It's not like it's like it's like an almost abduction story, but it wasn't at the same time. This is when I was like 6 or 7. I was at Walmart with my mom, and it was like Trix yogurt had just released a new like crazy swirl or something.
Those commercials were fucking
They were
amazing, by the
awesome.
way.
Trix is pretty awesome.
Every time you seen a Trix commercial on when you were a kid, you were like, fuck that rabbit. I want the yogurt.
Is Trix cereal still around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it. Anyway,
We literally saw it the other day.
I
watched you
attention.
comment on it.
really?
Yes.
Weird.
This guy's got fucking amnesia.
Because of
Anyways.
this story.
Alzheimer's.
But I was
doesn't
like,
wanna remember.
my mom was on the phone talking while we were at Walmart, and I was like, Mom, can I go check out the Trix yogurt? She was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Or no, she just said yes while talking on the phone, but like not yes answering my question, but yes while on the phone. And I was like, sweet, go check out the yogurt. So I go in the yogurt, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, what? Why am I here? So, there's not much to look at with Trix yogurt because I go back to where
It's
my
not like
mom
you're going to
was.
open it and like fucking wine taste it where you're just like, oh wow, this is
This really is
very
lime
texture.
paste.
Yeah, I taste it.
Yeah, and so I go back to where my mom was. Of course, if your kid walks away and you don't know where they went, you're going to be like, I need to go find my kid, I think. So you go walk someplace else. So my mom wasn't in the same place she was before, so I like freaked out. And I was like, okay, what do I do? So I go out to my car, or to my mom's car, and I just stand there and I just start sobbing because she's not there. And some like people came up to me and were like, "Are you okay? Do you need help finding your mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." So my mom, it was like this, like a younger couple. They take me back inside, and my mom was up at the front, like talking to the customer service.
Missing boy here. Missing boy.
Small, round, blonde.
Like half the store's like, that could be my kid.
That could be my kid.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Speaking of children just doing whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
I commented back like a few episodes, more than a few episodes, that Western children need to start wrestling boa constrictors just like the Indian children do.
Yo, I just found out that the thing in Russia where they have kids wrestle bears is a real fucking thing.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's a real thing. Russia, it's pretty cool in a weird way.
Kids just find entertainment in fucking whatever. Kids will do anything. And Dustin just reminded me of this when he's saying like, I'm a kid crying for no fucking reason. And when I was a little kid, I was more of an observer of these things. My little sister ate charcoal out of the fireplace multiple times. And she would get upset when my parents told her not to eat charcoal.
That's a fucking plot for a horror movie. I'm just gonna say
It's just
that.
like she opens her mouth and her teeth are just black.
Oh yeah,
That's creepy.
pretty gnarly. She just eat charcoal. and then cry about it. I'm like, yeah, kids really will do fucking anything.
Tastes like barbecue.
I've told my friend once that I was pretty convinced his younger brother could eat a pair of scissors and be okay. I think kids are just fucking...
They're just
almost invincible.
I think they're so dumb that they're powerful. They just like, their brain is like, I don't care.
I remember being a little kid and jumping down an entire flight of stairs multiple times. And then, like, as I got a little bit older, I was like, I don't know if I can make that jump, dude. That probably doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't want to do that.
Isn't it weird how kids, like, even though, like, it'll be the dumbest fucking idea, they're just gonna, like, be like, I love the way this is gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was, I think I was, like, 3 or 2, you know those, like, toy cars, those big red ones, that you can like get in and pretend to drive, but they're not the cool ones that are powered that you can actually drive.
Yeah, it's like the Playmobil, big whatever.
Yeah, so there's a girl over at our house, and I'm like, I need to show this girl.
Hop in the whip, bitch.
I'm like really epic, right?
I'll open up the door for you, even though you could climb right over.
So I'm like, check this out. And I get the toy car, and I stand on top of the car to show her, like, I can climb stuff, and I'm standing on the car.
Baller.
And, you know, the car slips out right from underneath me.
Wheels will do that.
So, normally this wouldn't be a problem in the backyard I currently have. You know, it's just dirt. When I had this backyard, it was a bunch of rocks cemented together as the floor. So I had this huge fucking hole in my forehead, which you can still see the scar if I lift my hair up. And it was basically like a bright red Cheez-It on my face that would squirt blood when touched. And I remember being in the doctor's, and they were like, yeah, check this out. And they touched me, and I'd freak the fuck out. And then my parents were like, hey, I know you just like broke your fucking face. We got you some donuts. It's going to make everything better. I'm like, these aren't going to do anything.
I feel like doctors have the coolest job ever because it's like watching a real life YouTube video and you could interact with it. It's like, yo, this kid in fucking room 15 just broke his foot.
Oh, they definitely do. The hospital's like, you gotta check this.
You
guy
gotta
out.
see this shit.
They don't even hide that shit from the patients. When I broke my arm, and my mom was like, you didn't break your arm. I'm not taking you to the hospital. And then I did break my arm, so we went to the hospital, and the doctor was like, hey, sucks that you got your arm broken, but Jimmy, 3 rooms down, has a fucking hole in his head, so, you know, maybe don't cry too much about your broken arm. And I'm like, okay, that makes all the pain go away. Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
I have a similar story about having this big old hole in your head.
Got one too, actually.
Yo, this is great. All of our stories are bouncing off of each other.
Come on, Nate, what are you doing?
I don't go outside. I don't get hurt.
I was gonna say I haven't heard him say one thing.
No, that's
I have a
bullshit.
story.
That's all you did.
You were the one who's like, I was an outside guy. I don't play fucking Nintendo.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm just built different. I don't know.
They played stick and ball.
You just didn't do anything cool. You did pussy stuff when you played outside, like just sit there and play in the sand. Fuck you.
I will admit, when I was a kid, I was a fucking crybaby, but
Same.
I loved getting hurt.
So
Does that make sense?
You'd like jump off something and get hurt, and you'd be like, "Oh man, let's do it again."
But like that's the thing. It was like a part of going on the adventure of like, cause you're a fucking kid. You haven't experienced anything.
Yeah.
So like getting hurt from like trying something or like putting out an idea that isn't like completely fucking there, but like you're still gonna try it.
Yeah.
It like just that like push to do something was like the most exhilarating thing to do as a kid, which now that you're like older, you'll obviously second guess. Like, I'm not.
Like, I don't want to get hurt. You know, I don't want to do that.
Maybe I
don't
shouldn't
like
cover
eating
myself in
shit.
oil.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But going back to the hole in my head, so I became friends with a porn star, and he screwed a hole in my head and like really skull fucked me.
For a second, I was like,
Wait, where is this going?
That was advanced as fuck. What just happened right there?
I feel like the listener needs to take a moment and just think about that.
Just be like,
Because I was just looking at you
back.
going like, holy shit, that's crazy.
I know.
wait, what?
My brain
Then I was like,
circuit.
why is he dealing?
I was still trying to process the porn star.
I got over the porn star thing. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Imagine the doctors discussing that fucking story.
It's like you should check out the kid who's friends with the
There's
porn
common
star.
a drill in that guy's fucking skull.
Oh my god, there's so much cum in this guy's head. You guys
the
gotta
first
check this
time.
out.
His 7-inch dick pushed his frontal lobe to the back.
To the back. It's the backal lobe now.
Lobe, dude. Oh
They
my
turned his
God.
brain into scrambled eggs.
Dude.
He's also connected. The man is also a convicted felon now. So
Yeah.
yes.
No, but the real story of how I got
So I was friends with Godzilla. And he cut open my fucking head.
no, but Angel, as we all know,
You know, you've been low-key doxing us this whole time. But I think that might be a little too far.
Yeah, we might have to cut that
Just
part
say,
out.
guy.
all right, guy whose name is Angel. Nah, he won't care, I'm sure, because this is me injuring myself. So he was doing a talent show at the high school, and you know, I'm a very supportive person of my friends because that's what good friends do.
Fact.
And I think the prize, like the first place prize, was like $500 or something like that. Like it,
Solid talent.
yeah, it was like a really good prize list of like the top 3 people, and he came in second, and I lost.
Beatboxing.
Yeah,
right?
he was
Yeah.
beatboxing with a harmonica. And I lost my shit because I was like, oh my God, he just wants some money that I'm obviously going to try to get him to spend on me. So, so I lose my shit and I'm starting to run around the gym that they're performing in. And I see this like dark side of the gym because I was just going to do a full fucking lap around the entire gym. And as I'm in full sprint to go to that dark part of the gym, doing, my forehead hits the metal pole that rolls up the net to the gym.
Ooh.
And I have this huge bloody gash on my forehead. And I'm laying there just like, what?
Where's the meth?
I need to pick me up.
Where's the crystal? Need it. But I remember looking, like I was laying on the floor looking at the ceiling, and then like I like put my chin up a little bit and I looked to the left, and it's where like all these girls were selling like cupcakes and like all this bakery shit, and they're just pointing and laughing at me, and I was just like, oh my fucking God, people saw that. Because like when I was going off, I was yelling like, yeah, that's my friend. That's my best friend. And it doink and just fucking fell. And I remember like, it was like a teacher or whatever. They came up to me and they're like, yo,
You're fucked.
you got fucked up. Like, are you all right? And I just stood up and I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Just blood.
My fucking friends, they're assholes. They took pictures, and I just like, I don't have the picture anymore on my phone. But if you've seen it, it was me sitting up for the first time, like looking surprised with this like big Harry Potter bolt of blood on my fucking forehead. And I remember sitting outside, just like waiting for my friend's sister to pick us up. And I was just sitting there on the bench, and then this one girl I knew like came over and like was like, yo, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm like trying not to fall asleep because I clearly have a concussion. And later I found out she was flirting with me.
Oh.
And she was like, I would have kissed you if you asked. And I was like, I was out of it. What makes you think that I was willing to try and kiss
half
you?
alive, lady.
Yeah, so my friend's sister drops me off at my house, and I go in, like walk into my living room, and my mom is standing there, and I was like, first thing I said to her is, Mom, I hit my head and I'm bleeding. And she's like she was terrified because I had all this fucking blood just gushing out of my head. And she was like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, I'm just gonna lay down. And I start to walk towards my room, and she's like, are you fucking stupid? No, we're going to the hospital. And so she like takes me, we like drive up there, and I'm sitting there like, am I gonna have to get stitches? Like, I'm like, fuck, that's gonna hurt. And then the doctor comes up and he's like, oh shit, yeah, no, we're just gonna put some glue on your head and you're gonna be good to go. And I was like, glue? He's like, yeah, we have this medical glue that like,
It's super glue.
yeah,
it's basically just super glue.
they call it medical glue, like they actually give a fuck, like it's but yeah, it was pretty much super
It's
glue.
because when a doctor says, yeah, we're just going to glue it up, your brain says, yeah, you use glue on paper.
That's literally what I thought. I was like, what the fuck? Are you gonna put a bunch of fucking Elmer's glue so I just have this bleach spot of white on my forehead? Like, I didn't understand, but he's like, if your head would have like split open even just the slightest bit, we would have had to use stitches.
Dang.
But he came back like fucking 10 minutes later and just put like this dab of glue on my forehead.
He's like, "There you go."
he's like, boop. He just booped my forehead with some fucking glue and was just like, all right, we can send you home. Hope you're good. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and sleep. And he's like, oh, you don't.
No, don't
wanna
do that.
Don't do that. I said the glue would help. I didn't mean that much. Do not fucking go to sleep.
In fact, rig yourself to a taser that detects when you're about to nod off.
Yeah, your heart rate goes down too low. Just bzz. Yeah, that does remind me. Did I tell the story about my staples?
He's got a story. He's got a story.
I don't know if
Oh my God.
Did I talk about the staples in my head?
Oh, actually, can I talk about when I got staples in my head first? Because that's I talked about the hole in my head as well.
Yeah.
Ego. You better step up. You better fucking step up to the plate. This is his ego kicking in. You better tell the story while you can.
He's gonna tell his first, and then I'll tell mine.
Dane did say he had
Power
a story
trip.
first.
Yeah, I also don't care.
I can't remember if this is something I already
You would be
told
the
in the
bassist in the
Did
band.
I already tell a story about a basketball hoop on the podcast?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't.
Okay,
think
we're
so.
good then. This is actually like one of my earliest memories. I was like 3 or 4 when this happened. So you kind of get a picture of like how small I was. Still very large, but small because I'm tall. I don't know. But my brother was hanging out with a family friend, my older brother, who's 5 years older than I am. So he's probably like 8 or 9 at this point. And he's hanging out with his friend, and they're shooting basketball hoops on like one of those cul-de-sac basketball hoops.
Yeah.
You can like adjust it and move it around and stuff. And they're doing it on like the lowest setting. So they're like doing like alley-oops and stuff, just being like, whoa, that's crazy. And then they decide, oh yeah, we're going to raise it. And I'm riding around on my 3-wheeled scooter because I had, no motor skills at that point. So I need training wheels on my scooter. And so while they're raising it, like one kid is holding it and the other one is pushing it up. My brother's holding it up and the other guy's pushing it up because like they're too small to like reach it. And my brother, while holding it, looks down and sees a dead cricket and is like, whoa, I've never seen one of those. Let's go the basketball hoop. And I'm riding around, and it just, boom, just hits me in the back of the head. Whole, like, force of a basketball hoop, isolated in just the rim, hits me in the back of the head. Jesus. And it was, like, out like a light. And, like, my mom came out, like, she just heard, like, a scream. She said once I got in the car, like, I didn't cry. I was just, like, sitting there with just blood just draining down the back of my head.
Did you get knocked out?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't remember that
I think
part.
that's one of those experiences where like you're awake but you black out to where it's just like you're in fucking autopilot.
Yeah.
You just
But I didn't get a concussion, but I did get 4 staples in the back of my head. I probably still have a scar, but I don't.
It's
hair.
head.
So yeah.
You'll know when you're like 50. And
Yeah,
Shut up and tell your Staples story.
Fucking Christ. Okay.
at the Staples Center.
At the I did not work at Staples. I worked at Office Max.
Oh.
Yeah. So just saying. But so I was out surfing with my brother and my dad, and this was the summer before sophomore year, and we're just like surfing, whatever. We're chilling. I like go off the board. It's behind me. A wave comes. The middle fin just right in the back of the head.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, ow, that didn't feel good. What the fuck was that? I come out of the water. My brother's like next to me. He's like, bro, you're bleeding. There's just blood all in the water.
You come out like Pamela Anderson.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
like slow-mo walking out of the ocean.
Yeah, for real. And he's like, dude, there's blood like everywhere. And I'm just like, I'm like,
attacked by a shark.
dude, I know it's crazy. I'm
crazy.
so lucky. So I like look around. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So we go to the lifeguard. He's like, yeah, here's this Band-Aid. And we're like, that's not going to do anything. So
This
we go to the
kid's
urgent
like,
care. And
he's probably 2 years older than you are.
yeah,
like,
he was literally like probably 16, 17. He's like, I'm going to vomit.
Imagine that was his first day on the job. Just
Yeah.
completely fucks
Yeah.
him up. Like,
I'm not cut out for this, man.
fabric.
Basically. So then like we go to the urgent care. I'm sitting there and I have to wait, obviously, and I'm just like, man, my head really fucking hurts. Doctor's like, all right, staples, dunk dunk dunk. And then I had staples in my head the entire summer.
nice.
And I couldn't surf for the entire summer.
I think I remember that. But
If you were radical enough, you would have served.
I'm not radical. See, the problem is you have to be radical.
Nate's brother would have,
Yeah,
in a heartbeat,
yeah.
would have been like, I don't care. I could get amoebas in my brain while surfing, and I couldn't care less.
Jack would be like, dude, I have like the cum in my brain. I don't care. The hole in the cum. I don't.
Yeah, it's-
That's
yeah.
Jack.
That's Jack for you.
Speaking of cum,
Uh-oh.
I have like an X-rated like fucking you will look at me different type story.
We've told some pretty crazy stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'll say it right now, just offbeat. I've jacked off in class before.
Yo,
on.
my man.
Like it was at a time like where it was a problem. Like I was like I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but there's a time in a young boy's life where you're just like, Jesus Christ, rubbing my hand on my dick feels very good.
Mm-hmm.
And you chronically do it for like a certain period of time.
We were talking about Zoom earlier today, right? And we were talking about the whole sex because I forgot to mute the mic. It was really embarrassing. Do you know how awesome online school is now? I get when I'm bored, I just get so fucking horny. So it's so awesome that I can just be like, okay, I'm leaving class, and then I just go beat my cock and come back, and I'm like, what's up?
Yeah, no,
what's
class?
For the listeners, it wasn't Zoom class. Like, it was in real fucking class.
man.
With people sitting there. And like I was saying, it was like a time where like I was like fucking obsessed with jacking off. And I was just like, I had this class with the girl I was crushing on at the time.
No.
And so the teacher moved me to the corner of the class because I'm fucking annoying as fuck and she didn't like me. So she moved my desk to the corner of the class right by the door. So as you can imagine, every other student is facing the whiteboard and I'm in the corner. So I have this like tennis view where I could go back to the students, back to the teacher, back to like, it's like I see the whole room. So clear as day, like shot vertically to the corner of my eye, I see the girl who I'm crushing on, and I'm just like, I'm gonna whip out my dick. Like,
This is a dark time.
it really was.
How old were you?
This is middle school.
I'm arresting you right now.
14. That's so
Whoa!
That's so bad. That's so nah, but yeah. Like if we're gonna keep it honest, we're gonna keep it honest. I was
Yeah.
like 14.
For some
15.
reason, I thought 14 was old for middle school, and then I just realized that I was just young for middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I redact the whoa.
Whoop.
There you go.
honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I was like 100% gonna tell this story no matter what. I was like, this has to be the podcast where I just release this story for the first time. I've never told anybody this story, not even my closest friends. I have never told this story.
That's awesome.
You got this is an
World
exclusive on the podcast.
Exclusive.
Jacking off in middle school. So
This is epic.
That is epic. How did we've discussed how we discovered jacking off?
Mine was because of a
I
Shane
could-
Dawson video.
I can tell you right now, it was I don't exactly remember how I discovered it, but did you guys have I know you did, but did you guys have Nintendo DS's?
Yeah.
I didn't, but yeah, they did.
Yeah, so
You looked up porn on it?
this is the thing. This is the thing though.
I think
so,
that's a recurring theme between a lot of teenage boys' lives.
so on the DS, there's the fucking Internet Explorer tab.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was super into Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I had the biggest fucking crush on Katara, and I was like, I'm gonna look at Katara.
So
So I fucking go on the internet, and literally like my first porn experiences were like hentai.
Amen.
Like, I don't even know how I came across them. They were just hentai.
It's Rule 34. It's like so easy to find anything and
it's
everything.
like when you're a kid, it's like, who do you have a crush on? Raven from Teen Titans, Gwen from
that one green chick
Ben 10.
from
Misty from Pokemon.
Misty from Pokemon. Like, come on, like,
it's who you're seeing on TV.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
obviously, you're not going to be looking up iCarly porn because, you know, those are
jail.
real people. Yeah, that's
nah, but have you ever seen the fucking advertisements where it's like iCarly porn, but it's like just Miranda Cosgrove's face copied and pasted onto like a real porn star?
But we did talk about what's her name?
Jeanette McCurdy.
Jeanette McCurdy's
Yeah.
duty pic.
I heard she fucked what's the basketball player?
Oh, yeah, they dated.
Andre Drummond. Yo, if you see the size comparison of her to him in like a fucking Google image,
She's like, what, like
She's like-
5'4"?
She's like my height. So like
Yeah.
5'4", 5'5".
Yeah.
I think the biggest question in the world is for people who are like interested in sport. I don't even think you have to be interested in sports. How big is Shaq's dick?
Oh, it's got to be huge.
It's got to be like legitimately like my third leg.
Adam Sandler said that on the set of Grown Ups 2 or whatever it was,
Whichever one has
he
Shaq.
tried to sneak into the shower to get a peek at his dick. And honestly, that's not fucking gay. Because
No.
I want to know how
That
big
is-
his fucking dick is.
That is completely
And
rational
scientific
thought.
research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the DS thing. Have you ever been to Vegas?
No.
Okay. Fun fact about Vegas: there's porn on the floor everywhere you go. There,
I would assume so. There has to be like flyers of just
Oh, yeah.
prostitutes or just.
they
like
they have
Pokemon
drive-by billboards with like prostitute phone numbers on them.
That's
One of
amazing.
them was like, call 720-696969.
You remember the number.
It's not hard to remember.
There's a lot of
Anyway.
9s.
Because, you know, when you're that age, you're like, man, I could call that.
You call the wrong number and still get a prostitute.
Well, I'm like, I could call that number. And then you realize, like, not only am I a dumb kid, that's illegal, and I have no money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Epic
They
But
charge
the thing
fine,
is,
yeah.
there's these people who just stand in Vegas holding decks of like cards, and each card has a porn actress on it and a link to their website, and they just hand them out, and it's not like a flyer deal where they're like, hey, will you take this flyer? It's so aggressive, they don't even give a fuck if you don't take it. They will hand it to you, and if you don't take it, they'll just drop it. Like, they'll just drop it right on the floor. So when you're a little kid in Vegas, you're like, I want to see some titties. You just have to look at the floor. And so the floor titties got a website. So at nighttime, we go to our hotel, and I pull up my DSi, and I go to the website, and it's, you know,
In the same room as your parents.
yes. And, you know, if you don't know, the DS browser is terrible for looking at
Oh, it is.
images.
You have
It's
to use
so
the
bad.
little fucking analog stick, and it scrolls down on the pictures like a fucking cursor.
Yeah, it's so
bad.
And it, you know, image quality is dog shit. But, you know,
I like how I
horny
was so
13-year-old
invested in the 3DS porn. Like, the cursor's horrible. You can't get a nut.
you know, I've really, you know, looked for new porn markets, and the DS just isn't it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, we
It's-
gotta-
No,
Yeah,
the
that's
best
hard.
part. The best part is when the porn shows up on both the screens, on the top screen and the bottom screen. So you're just like, I fucking love the internet.
This is the future. This is the future.
I think my 3DS still has porn on it because when I was a little kid, I was like, this is fucking hot. Download.
I sold mine to GameStop. So whatever poor bastard fucking bought that is just like having the time of his life. But going back to the fucking,
L Latinas rub their asses together.
but
I don't know that game.
Hey.
Is that
What Pokemon is this?
Pokemon?
Pokemon is
Oh, that's an anus.
No.
see a
But
vagina. Honestly, if you
Spread
just take a
ass
vagina, it kind of looks like a weird Pokemon.
Good one.
No, like
never-
seriously,
oyster. What's the fucking oyster?
bruh.
That's what a fucking
Clam pearl.
crate.
Literally.
Suck my clam pearl.
It's supposed to be the
I
clitoris.
remember there was somebody had a bumper sticker that said "I heart pink tacos," which, you know,
Epic.
yeah. And I saw it in 6th grade, and I was in my friend's car. I was in the shotgun seat for some reason.
are blue waffle. I don't know anymore.
But I saw that bumper sticker, and out loud, I was like, "What's a pink taco.
I
And
need
the
to
mom
try
was
that.
just like, I'm not gonna say anything. I can't do this. I can't handle these stupid 6
I'm at my fucking limit.
I'm at my limit.
So, Dane briefly mentioned my. How would I describe it? The genesis of my unhappiness, I would say.
Oh.
The Cheeto.
Oh,
Have I
the
talked
Cheeto.
about that
Yeah.
on here?
Yeah,
I
you
think
said
have
that,
the
and I was very like.
Yeah, it was like one of the first episodes. Probably.
I don't remember. talking about
I
it
don't
on the
remember
podcast.
this.
So, chilling in Subway with my fam, and I say,
As you do.
grab some chips. 6-year-old me says, I'm gonna get some Cheetos.
Fucking Cheetos.
Right? I get my sandwich. It's got olives on it. Amen. And I open up my Cheeto bag, and there's this fucking huge Cheeto. It's the biggest Cheeto I've ever seen in my fucking life. It is to this day, I've never seen a Cheeto bigger than this one.
So naturally, you compared the Cheeto to your dick.
It was fucking huge.
Probably bigger.
I didn't care about penises back then. So,
Now it's all you can think of.
yeah, now I'm only thinking about how I can touch my dick at all.
This whole podcast, he's just been thinking, how can I secretly just like ease out of the door and just go bust one out?
He just takes a blanket and he's like, yeah, so guys.
What are you bouncing up there, down there?
Anyway,
Why are you staring at me?
biggest Cheeto I've ever fucking seen. I can't stress enough how big this fucking Cheeto was. So, I'm saving it for last, right? You gotta save the big Cheeto for last.
I feel that though. I feel that.
And, little me says, I'm fucking 6 and I just drank an entire chocolate milk. I need to pee. So I get up and go to the restroom. And I come back. My big Cheeto's not there.
Mystery.
Someone took my fucking big Cheeto.
So when
And
you
I'm
were
sitting there,
6?
And I'm like, hey, because, I'm an idiot and I get fixated on things like this. And I say, where's my big Cheeto? I was saving it. It was right here. Where is my big Cheeto? And my mom says, I thought you were avoiding it, so I ate it.
She didn't appreciate it like you did either.
I know.
because,
To this day, I think about this at least once a day.
I feel that's the fucked up part is like when he came back, he was just thinking, she did not savor that fucking
Right.
Cheeto like
No.
I
And
was about to.
To her, that was just a Cheeto.
Yeah.
To me, this is a lifelong fucking curse, and I can't stop thinking about this fucking Cheeto.
She had no relativity of how big it was
Yeah.
because it was the only Cheeto in the bag. She said, oh, that's a Cheeto. It wasn't the biggest Cheeto in the bag, let alone the biggest Cheeto you've ever seen. Like,
Well, also when you compare it to a 6-year-old child to an adult,
yeah.
how big is the?
No, it wasn't.
think-
it wasn't,
I think they
it wasn't
killed
the
it,
last
though.
one yet. I was in the process of it being the last one, so it wasn't like
She could have fucking
looked at
picked
it.
another one.
It wasn't like she looked at it and just saw it alone, right? I had it because I had like a napkin because the Subway wrapper is like a big napkin.
Yeah.
And I just poured my Cheetos out on there, and the giant Cheeto was resting atop like a peak, like the mountain on Toblerone. It was the mountain. It was big, and I come back and it's fucking gone. Like she was watching me the whole time, be like, I'm saving this Cheeto, and I can't get over it. And since that day, I have never trusted a single person in my fucking life.
That's reasonable, honestly. That whole
think-
story is reasonable not to trust us all.
And it's like when you're a little kid, things like that fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the little things that
You
fuck
know
up
what?
when
You know
you're a
what
kid.
fucked
Because you're
me
so
up.
malleable.
You know what fucked me up as a kid? Jacking off in class. Let's get back to that.
Yeah.
Nah, but dude, it's so like now that I think about that shit, like I have a problem.
You want to talk about a problem?
No, but like it's so weird just
I
because
think
like
you need to listen to the earlier episode.
I stared directly at her face.
We're going back. We actually are going back.
Yes.
I thought you were done.
No. I had the ending. I fucking
I thought
stared.
the climax already occurred.
No, the climax is about to begin right now. So I stared
beginning of
directly.
the end.
I stared directly at her face, and as I was about to come, she looked at me.
That's like one of those things where like the stars aligned for you.
No, I'm not even kidding.
He
I
felt
wish-
his heart disappear.
I wish I could have that nut back. Like-
You know what? Fuck you, unnuts.
No, but like right as I was about to come, she fucking looked at me right in my face, and just like like the teacher probably may have heard me because I did like yell out like, and I remember she like looked at me and then she just looked back to the whiteboard as if she just came here to do that and then just go right back to working. And I was like, I had all this mess on my hand. So
This reminds me of a certain anime.
wait for it.
I'm on the floor. You ate it.
No. No, some was like on the table. Underneath the table, so it was like drip.
Oh no.
But this is the part. I like kind of cleaned it off with my hand a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I need to clean this off. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I raised my hand.
The cum hand.
The cum hand.
Yes.
To ask to go to the bathroom. And as I'm mid, like, can I switch hands? And then, like, obviously she probably didn't know. She was like, oh, like, she could give a fuck less if I switched hands. But putting that cum hand up, like, as if I, like, found a fucking rupee in Zelda where I was like, da-na-na-na, just like... I was so embarrassed for that one moment, but I don't think anybody figured it out.
Oh, that was the one moment you were embarrassed.
Yeah, that's,
Dude, and
that's all it took.
I'm not the type to be like, oh, I'm shy. Like, any of the fucking antics I did in middle school,
Yeah.
like, I wasn't embarrassed to do any of it. Like, I remember having a wet t-shirt contest by myself on a hot day. I remember, I had a crush on this one girl, and it was like a day where it was like raining, and like the 50s wing or 60s was like very wet and dirty, had a bunch of puddles on it. And I was just like, I know what I could do to impress her. I'm going to use this whole fucking wing as a slip and slide. So I ran full speed from the other end of the wing and just fucking slid across, and she could give a fuck less.
Oh yeah. You were like, hey, not a good story.
So see these dirty clothes? Like, want to take them off of me? But no, it was,
Did this for you. Suck my dick.
Please.
please give me a but yeah, I'm not the type to get embarrassed. Like, I'll go to fucking San Luis, like downtown San Luis, and I'll stay there with my phone in my hand, and I'll watch people walk by me, and I'll be like, so am I gonna suck your cock tonight? No, I mean it. Like, can I suck your dick? And like, they'll look at me with like the strangest face and then realize I'm on the phone, and that's funny to me. It doesn't have to be funny to anybody else.
Yeah.
I could like, there was this group of girls walking down like the same passageway I was, and my friend was already like, don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it. And I was just like, yeah, I can't wait for you to fucking fuck me in my ass, or just like just saying the most like horrid, sexually explicit shit I could think of. And you know, you hear me, he's like, oh my god, he's crazy. But I find that fucking hilarious. That's
bitch,
funny
I ain't crazy. I'm fucking gay.
That's my coming out story, is like, I do it once. I'm just like, yeah, I can't wait like for you to fuck me. It's like, dude, are you ever gonna stop these jokes?
You're
I'm
like, what?
I want you to fuck me.
I'm waiting for you to realize it's not a joke.
This is no longer a joke. But
Hear about that rapper whose album name was like I'm gay or something, and then everybody was like, it's kind of like weird that you came out that way. It feels like a little bit like self-centered. And he's like, I'm not gay actually. And everybody was like, then why'd you call your album I'm Gay? And he was like,
wasn't that Lil
Got
B?
your attention.
I think it was Lil
That was
B.
Lil B, the bass god, because I remember he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna come out with an album called I'm Gay, because that's how much I just don't give a fuck. And I was like,
Okay.
I mess with that. But to go off of your whole Las Vegas thing, I go to LA like a lot. That's like my second home. And I remember we were staying at this hotel across from like Knott's Berry Farm or whatever. And as we were pulling into the hotel, there was a strip club at the end of the street. And the whole night I was debating, what if I walk down the street, wait for a fight to happen so the door opens, I throw a brick to hold the door, I sneak into the back. I'm 12 years old, mind you, and I'm thinking of this shit just to see some titties.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of that. I'm like, yo, what if I just fucking... and I'm like planning it out in my head, and I sneak out of the door. I barely get out on the thing, like where I see the street and everything, and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, it's funny because like so many guys think up bullshit like that. That's so out of the realm of possibility. Like when I was again in Las Vegas, I'm like a fucking 8-year-old kid, and there's just like practically naked women wherever you are, and it's like oh, they're not naked, okay, they're just wearing like only 10% of clothing. Anyway, I'm sitting there, 8-year-old me, I'm like, man, it would be so awesome if one of them just snuck into my hotel room tonight and just raped me, basically, because I couldn't consent. But I was like, that would be pretty epic, I think.
Cool, right, guys?
Not the
and
first
your,
time.
Like, your inner monologue is like, yeah, that would be pretty
The
cool.
first time I ever saw a fucking naked woman was the worst experience of my life because it was an old lady who was babysitting me.
Nice.
And she brought me to her house so she could watch me. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go take a shower. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and watch TV. And I heard something in the hallway like shake. And so I wrap around the couch and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I see her like scurrying out of the bathroom butt ass naked. And I swear to God, I never talked to that lady after that.
You're like, I'm going, Mom, I need
I was like,
Mom, I need to go home.
I was like, you need to come off work right now. I don't want to be here.
But the whole like unrealistic expectations for sex thing is like when you're a little kid, you're like, okay, the sex that's impossibly gonna happen, I need to prep for it. So you make sure you're like ready.
you get
Have you
like,
ever
all
done that where
shout-
you're like, I'm clean, make sure my nuts smell okay. I'm ready to fuck. Always ready for surprise sex.
I don't think I've
at
ever
the age
gone
of
that
8.
far.
I'm going to catch you guys off
Hate?
guard. I'm going to catch you guys off guard. Let's go around. What's your craziest fetish that you have? Well, or just weirdest fetish?
I'm literally as vanilla as they come.
Really?
Yeah.
As you literally come?
Yeah.
It's literally vanilla.
tastes great. Holy shit. Anyway, I don't know, man. Like
Nothing obscure that very turns you on.
I guess being aggressive. That's basically as far as it goes.
I see that though.
Just being dominant. Which is
Okay.
ironic because I'm shorter than most women. Whatever.
And you said you weren't a risk taker, so that's even more funny.
Yeah.
Is it as if some girl was like, fucking choke me really hard? And he's like,
I'd be like, I bet.
I don't know.
You'd be like the
No, because
He's like, I
This is a
want
meme that-
to,
this is
but
something that only Israel and I will get. But it's like the Shinji and Asuka meme, where Shinji's literally lifting Asuka up by choking her. It's pretty funny.
I
okay,
guess,
yours, big dog.
It's really not that
Oh.
funny, but
There's a lot.
yeah.
Yo, battle off. I really don't care.
My biggest fetish is definitely dominant women. But there's subsects of that. Muscular women, pretty fucking awesome.
That is tight.
I would love to be princess carried. Taller women out there who aren't listening to this.
definitely I don't think we have any, except for maybe Nate's girlfriend, and that's it.
And she's forced to listen.
yeah, she listens out of pity.
And
Yeah,
then,
Dane has a new podcast. Huh?
I guess probably the weirdest part of my fetish is being forced to lick sweat off of women. Sounds awesome.
That sounds weird when I think about it, but it's like it's not the weirdest thing that I've heard.
I feel like it's the weirdest because it's the most obscure. I would not.
Yeah, it's the
thought of
most
that.
obscure.
Yeah, you wouldn't
it's very
think about that,
specific.
but during that time, you would. It's just-
Yeah, it's just an
There's-
aspect.
there's-
Also, I
yeah.
kind of like CBT.
Okay,
What's that?
Cock and ball torture.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't.
I remember
You're
one.
fucking lying. You're fucking lying.
I
There's
literally
no way.
squeeze my nuts every time I come.
That's insane.
Anyways, on to my thing. What I mean, where I am so insanely vanilla. This is the most obscure thing that I can think of. Where at one point I was oddly into.
I said I love you as I came.
No, but we talked about this on another episode where Nate and I had in end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, all of our friends were girls. So they'd what?
No one else found that funny. You just said sophomore.
Sophomore? Yeah. Whatever, dude. but Nate and I's friends were all girls, and they'd make fun of dudes, and they're like, dudes are into anything, and Nate and I were like, oh yeah, like what? And they were like, I bet a dude is like, there's a guy out there who's into shoulder blades. And we're like, that's not true. And they were like, ha ha ha, no, it isn't. And then like they would always talk about, they'd like raise down their shirt and be like, ooh, look at my shoulder blade. Or it was collarbones.
Yeah, collarbones.
And they were like,
shoulder blades,
ooh,
easy. Collarbones,
look at my
nuts.
collarbone. And then Nate and I would be like, whatever. But then later on, I was like, I don't know, maybe.
It's funny that you mentioned that because some girls are proud of their collarbones.
Really?
They like to like show off their collarbones.
Yes.
Collarbones, a good-looking collarbone is definitely something to admire.
It adds structure, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's just like a weird side note. It's like an asterisk.
Yeah.
There's a whole table right there for you.
Just realized.
Well, there's a bigger floor.
No, but I remember hearing that like if you joke about a fetish or something, like if you keep joking about it, eventually your brain will just like
Oh,
obtain that
definitely.
as a
I don't do that with
Dude.
like fetishes, but I do that with jokes.
I'm not
where it's
gonna
like-
lie.
I hate
I'm
getting
not.
raped by women.
I'm not even gonna
Stop.
cap though. That was me with pegging. I'm not even kidding. I joked about pegging, and then I was like, "Wait, that kind of sounds sick." And I'm
Maybe.
like, I
No,
gotta
but the
stop.
thing is-
I gotta stop.
The thing is why I don't think I would ever try pegging is because when you take an enormous shit, does it feel good? No, you're fucking sweating, gripping the fucking.
Afterwards, it feels pretty great, but
Oh, but that's a release though.
That's
when
Yeah.
it comes
You're
out.
such a fucking dork. It's not about things going in and out your ass. It's about your prostate. Your shit
Don't
isn't
care.
punching your prostate.
My asshole is too tight to be having things in it.
But yeah,
Like shit?
this was like, you idiot. That's
also-
not how it works.
Every time I need to take a shit, I go to the hospital and get surgery
yeah.
just so I don't
I
have
I think
to.
I might have, I might have anal cancer. I need you to check this out.
I also feel like the girls that are into pegging are weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel.
Like on average, obviously.
I feel like mine isn't as weird now, because I just like feet.
Feet are pretty cool.
Yeah. That's,
No, but like this is why though. the how I got into it is like when you're watching porn and like the girl is like getting absolutely fucking drilled, you'll see her feet like curl up or like
Yeah,
spread
yeah,
out,
yeah.
and that reaction is so fucking like.
Dude, it's awesome.
That's like
when
me.
they're,
I
I think
like,
we've talked about
feet
porn
are,
a
like,
lot on this
flat.
podcast.
Yeah,
but I think this breaks the record.
Yeah.
This is great.
Going off that though, like when they like moaning too, in a way, because it's like an
Moaning is
auditory.
like a primal thing.
It's like an auditory representation of pleasure.
Yeah.
So you're like, I am doing something.
You know what? I never moan when I jack off because
Me
I don't
neither.
want people to hear it. But lately, like I've been having the house to myself and jacking off while moaning, pretty fucking sick.
I'm too into my head to even try it, cause like even when no one's at my house and I'm like,
I know.
I'm
no
like,
one's-
why the fuck am I even like? Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, nerd. But like, even though I know no one's gonna be home for days, I'll still like lock the door, turn the shower on.
That's amazing.
Like I'm so nothing can.
You never know. Your dad might come home and be like, I know I've been on a trip for 2 days, but I forgot socks. You're just butt naked on the leather couch and you're like, dude,
Bro, what the heck? Knock.
I like
I was about to lube this up.
The
do
couch?
you like spit? I don't know why.
Yes.
It's
I would
like-
love a woman to choke me and spit in my mouth. That would
You
be fucking.
you seen
awesome.
you know who Slow Tie is?
Yeah, I fucking love them.
Yeah, dude. I was literally from me to like even closer, like literally me to the table. Slow Tie was in front of me at a concert. Pretty awesome. But yeah, you seen the video of him spitting into the girl's mouth?
Yes,
Rock on. That's it.
amazing. Oh, speaking of music, I need to say your fucking parody of Anthony Fantano was amazing. I literally rewatch that fucking video every
like
once in a while.
It's like 2.5 years old at this point.
I fucking love that video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually think I have a weirder fetish that I forgot about because it's like a seasonal thing.
Oh,
It's like a seasonal fetish that I don't have all the time.
When girls wear winter coats, it's so fucking hot.
oh, just
Exactly.
I'm
the
really into
lining
fashion.
of the fur on the neck is just hard.
I'm really into fashion. So if I see like anybody who's like really like just wears something awesome, it has like a visceral response. Something and like turns me on. But we were in downtown Slow, and I saw some guy where he was wearing something really nice, and I was like, dang, that's pretty sick. And I was always wearing a specific kind of shoe, and I was like, oh, he knows what's up. Like
He's got some fucking loafers on, bro. He's crazy.
Yeah.
But
It was the day that Gage left for the military.
So a seasonal fetish.
yeah, the seasonal fetish. It's probably it's probably comes from like me just being like
Is this
an innately evil person. But it's like I just want to like every once in a while. It's like it hits me like maybe like once a month where I'm like, oh my god, it'd be awesome to just like find a woman and like force feed her while I fuck her until she becomes fat.
No, I've heard that's a
want this
thing.
out there?
I heard that's a thing where fucking people will.
I would also like to be force fed sometimes. So
I don't know if that's
Like there's this chick on fucking My 600 Pound Life, and she live streams herself eating, and people get off to that.
no, I don't want to watch someone else get fat. I want to be the one making them fat, and then like later be like, okay, here's my psychopath
I'm the reason
part,
you hate yourself.
and then I'm like, I'm breaking up with you.
Jesus Christ.
That's very.
But I would.
very specific.
It is very specific and it's very evil, and I would never do it. But there's that part of my brain that's like, I want to.
I feel like guys have a lot of fantasies like that where it's just like, this would be so fucking crazy, but I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the heart to just like.
It's like you're like, oh, that'd be so. Oh yeah, I forgot about morals. Dang it.
Yeah, it's like being a fuckboy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you could, but like I'm not a dick. You know?
Yeah.
But he is, so like.
But anyway.
I have a very famous quote to myself only, where Dane said, "I don't punch down, so I'm gonna stop here." And I said, "I do punch down though." And that was about Nate.
No, it was not about Nate.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was.
think. It was?
Yes.
What was the context?
See you being a fucking loser.
Nice.
I don't remember.
I'm not surprised.
Dude, I just want to say I've enjoyed this very much. I have not talked to anybody since Corona started. Face to face, I'm not fucking kidding. Like, maybe like my uncle and my mom and my grandma, that's it. I've not had outside perspective.
This has been on the. I think like Ty even talked to you before we even started the podcast.
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't even Ty wasn't even on the podcast at that point.
He was like, oh yeah, Dane's doing something. And I was like, oh cool.
Oh,
like
cool.
invite me on whenever you want.
And literally 6 months later,
Took 30 episodes.
took 30 episodes.
And Ty's not even here.
And Ty's he hasn't been here in like a month and a half. So.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
This is the first
fucking-
planned guest, by the way.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Every other guest.
That actually makes me
planned
feel
after.
really important. Like that makes my ego just
Yeah.
boost a little
I
bit.
think every other guest was like, well, that person didn't show up. I guess we should call this person up. Or Jordan, Carter's friend.
He was just there.
He was just like, we called Carter and was like, yo, somebody won't be here. And then it turns out that person was coming. And then Carter still came. And then Carter's friend also came. And then Nate's brother also came. So at one point there was like, what, 7 people?
Jeez.
Jack didn't add anything. He literally can't.
He
So
asked like 2 questions and
Yeah.
left.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel really bad just because when I did get kicked out of Paulding and stuff, I didn't really keep up with a lot of the people that I was actually close with. So like you guys, for example, like we'd pass each other like a lot.
Yeah.
We'd have like very like funny conversations and shit. I've literally known you since
I
elementary
know.
school.
I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to bring that up because I talked about how much of a hell elementary school was for me.
And we
I know
both experienced
you were there.
that. Because I remember he was a fucking idiot, and it was the funniest thing to me just because he was on my level of being like, let's see how far we
let's
can take
let's
this.
see where we can go.
There was one time where there was like this metal. You remember that metal slide in like the kindergarten playground?
Yes.
Yeah. So after the after school program, it was raining and I was on the metal slide and I fell down and like cracked my fucking head open at the base of the metal slide, and then no one did anything. The teacher's just like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And my mom gets there and my mom was fucking pissed.
By any chance, do you remember this student teacher named?
Yes.
Everyone
Everyone did.
I want literally everybody, every guy in our school wanted to have sex with her. And I okay,
Not
so
even knowing what it was, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hold her
we
hand
definitely
so
knew
hard.
what
she
sex
was
was.
so like, for a student teacher, she was so incredibly hot. And I just remember like wanting to go to her class all the time. So when we finally went to middle school, I came back after like after like their day had ended, I went back and I was just gonna say hi to a couple of my teachers, and I saw her and I was like, oh my fucking god, she's still here. So she comes up to me and we have like a brief conversation, and
So did you fuck?
yeah, she took me back to her classroom and she gave me a little golden star.
Nice.
And you were like, oh, do you, I think you were part of this. Were you there when we, it was the Renaissance Fair thing we did in
Yes.
7th grade, and we made a skit together. It was like you, me, and like 2 other people or something. And we like got to perform in front of the entire school.
The entire school?
I think so. Like we got in front of the, like we performed it in front of the class, and then we performed it in front of our wing, and then we got to perform it in front of the entire school.
I must have left. That was probably around the time when I left, because
it was 7th grade though, wasn't it?
okay, well then I wasn't there at school, because that's why I got kicked out, because I never fucking showed up. And the reason why, I'll tell you right now, I was bullied like a motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah, and you think, oh, Dustin, he's always the funny dude making everybody. No, I was fucking bullied.
Dang.
Like bad. Like I had so many suicide attempts during middle school. Like obviously you guys probably didn't know what was going on. You're like, oh, he's here and then he's not, and then it's just kind of like, oh, that's Dustin. But like, no, like I wouldn't show up to school because I wanted to fucking kill myself, like
Dang.
all the time. And then eventually, like the principal and the teachers were like, look, you're clearly not doing the homework, you're not showing up to school, and we don't know why, so we're gonna kick you out. And I was like, whatever, it's probably better anyway. So all those gang members and drug dealers and all that shit, like the people I met at that school, nicest people I've ever met.
Oh yeah, dude. I was friends with some of the biggest drug dealers at the high school. Like I knew them like really personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm straight edge too, but that was just, we were
Like
just
I
super
knew people from opposite sets. Like you know how Oceano beefs with Napomo?
For no reason.
Yeah, because they have the 2 gangs.
Yeah. I was friends with people from both those cliques, and I would bring them together and we'd all fucking laugh. And that's when I knew I could, like, if I really tried, I could be the most talented motherfucker to come out of this place. Because if I could bring this dude that wants to fucking kill this dude and bring them in the same room and not fight for fucking however long school was, like,
yeah,
I gotta be a funny motherfucker to do that. Like, but yeah,
doing something right.
that's why I left and you guys didn't see me as much.
Yeah. I think I got bullied by people who only spoke Spanish. They just call me like just
I did as
slurs
well
in Spanish.
And I went off on him. I was like, you're too much of a pussy to say it to my face. You're just gonna insult me, like, so that only a certain amount of people can hear it.
That's the thing. I had a table, and my table, like my group of fucking misfits, was right across from all the popular kids. So like I'd sit there and be like, why isn't, like, I have that main character like realization of, why am I not sitting there? Like I had that moment.
Yeah.
Like I love my friends to death, but I was like, I'm fucking hilarious. Like why am I not there?
Yeah.
And like I remember I would try to get these fucking people's approval, but like behind my back, it's like, nah, Dustin's a fucking idiot. Like he's like a piece of shit. He's gonna be a drug addict in like a couple years tops. Oh, look where you guys are at, bitches.
Peaked in high school.
Yeah. And like I fucking, one of the popular kids that was like at that seat, won't say his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like how I told you guys I went to a continuation school.
Yeah.
And the one that I was going to on the Mesa closed down. So I had to go all the way to San Luis to go to
the
school.
one on the Mesa closed down?
Yeah,
I didn't
it
know that.
fucking shut down mid, like, after my sophomore year. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, the only place where, like, I'm actually comfortable going to is going to fucking close down now.
Yeah, you have to
like, the
try to
place where I
find it,
don't
yeah.
get bullied for once.
Mhm.
And so we fucking go to this place in Slow. Greatest place ever, dude.
It's on like a ranch, isn't it? There's like something.
It's by the golf course.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have good experiences with people in San Luis.
I've never
that.
made any
But-
friends who live in San Luis.
But like I was saying, so we all moved to that school. All the kids that were on the Mesa, and like some like continuation kids from other schools all merged together to one school.
Wow.
And so
Getting like
an
half the
Ultraman.
county and like
yeah, literally of just badass fucking kids who fucking snort coke and fucking
do meth.
shoot at people
Destroy
and shit.
property.
So I remember I was already there for like a year and a half, and I was like just settling into things, and I remember seeing one of the popular kids come into school, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And like I never realized why, but then like he got a girl pregnant, and then like he had a kid, and I was just like, I'm so much better than all of you. I love it. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I think every kid, like, I know there's the whole thing where it's like, stop bullying now, and to an extent that's right. Like, you should never want a kid to be fucking punched in the face for no reason, kicked out. Like, that's happened to me. It's a shitty fucking feeling. But if you get harassed oh, you're fucking fat, I've developed such a thick skin to that, to where like, yeah, okay, it's true, yeah, it kind of hurts, but that flicker where you train yourself to fire back at those people and get back at those people, I think that develops you for the real fucking world.
Oh, for sure. I was pretty fat in middle school. Like
I remember. No.
Yeah. No, that's
I hate saying it because it like makes me uncomfortable to be like, Dane was huge.
No, but like that's the thing though. You look fucking great now.
Oh, thank you.
So like,
it's the beard. It just hides my double chin. But
I'm so jealous.
Still,
I can't
comparably,
do it.
even without the beard, like,
I know I did
pretty
shave it off.
great.
I had just a mustache at the beginning of the year.
I remember that.
Awesome.
I remember that because you were one of the first like non-Mexican kids to have a mustache. And
Yeah.
I was like, he's fucking cool.
But yeah, like in middle school, I didn't get like bullied, but I never felt comfortable like ever. Like I got this like weird tick where I'd pull on shirts,
I still do
which
that.
I feel like overweight
I
people-
still fucking
yeah,
do that.
I still
did
do that.
as well.
Yeah. To like try to make itself like, you know,
And it doesn't fucking do anything.
no,
either.
it just stretches out your shirt and then just makes it look too big. But
Now you look like even more of a fat ass.
yeah,
It just-
it's like I wore like a rash guard to the pool or like to the beach all throughout like my younger years because I was like, I don't want people to see me because I'm fat. Dude, because you're wearing the rash guard, you're wearing the oversized
It's
shirt in
even
the ocean,
worse.
It's like you're just driving it home.
No, I think if you are growing up as a fat kid, you gotta own that shit.
Yeah.
Like you like even I know movies are fucking fake and like da 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 da, but like look at any movie and if you see the fat kid in the movie, he fucking owns that shit and doesn't
rocks.
give a fuck. Like people will be like, oh, look at fucking fat Jimmy on the diving board. He's like, yeah, and I'm gonna splash this bitch and I'm gonna make the biggest cannonball you've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, and it's like when they do get or like get like fit or like better or like just better looking.
It's nothing but greatness.
Jonah Hill, man. Like
Jonah Hill is so freaking slim now.
oh
It's
man,
insane.
Jonah Hill rocks so hard.
It's funny because when I got kicked out of middle school, I was like, when people see me again, I'm going to be so fucking sexy. And it did not work. I just didn't keep up with any of that shit. But
It's hard, man.
You know,
I could gain my weight back.
see, I'm like Action Bronson. I enjoy food and just like being lazy as fuck.
because
Yeah.
I've heard a metaphor about food, which is like what makes it so fucked about like trying to lose weight, is like getting addicted to food is fucked because you actually need food to survive.
Exactly.
So it's like, imagine if you were addicted to heroin, but every day you had to have a little bit of heroin.
That
or
one
you
bump
would
of
die.
crystal meth could have fucked me up. And I'm so glad it actually, it probably could have because like I would have been hella skinnier if I was just a meth head.
You've never seen a fat meth head.
Dude, I missed my opportunity to get skinny.
Damn. Rip. But yeah,
You still got time.
You still
Yeah.
have time.
Just
You
do
have-
crocodile, where like
Yeah.
your body has such a high metabolism rate, it just starts eating away at itself.
No, but like that's the thing. Like the physical going outside part was never the hardest part for me. It's this is the thing. Like if you're a fucking fat kid growing up and you're poor, that's the worst shit that could ever happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because if your family can
Cheap food's bad for you. You can't get a gym
Yeah,
membership.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if your family is so poor and you can only afford McDonald's, you're gonna be fucking fat. There's no diet out there for you where you could just be like, oh, I want a cheap diet of fucking water and like a single leaf of spinach.
And
Like,
it's like you could think like, what if I get the salad at McDonald's, right? The salad at McDonald's
It's
has almost as many
still
calories
fucking McDonald's.
as a hamburger.
When I was like a really little kid, I was like called like chubby, like all like when I was a little kid,
Dude.
but I wasn't actually fat. I was just big.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's just how I looked.
That's what I fucking
So like it got in my
realized.
head, yeah.
Like,
Like when I was around like 7 or 8, when like the recession happened, like
Yeah.
my dad lost his job. We lived on the East Coast, had to move back. Like we lived with my grandma for 2 years, and like I never invited friends over because like I just moved to this place, and I was like, oh, I don't want like them to come to my grandma's house.
Yeah.
Even though it was a pretty cool house, but yeah, it was just like, and then that's where I just gained all the weight, and it just stayed until like 8th grade.
because I remember seeing like a picture of me as a kid,
Yeah.
like a couple, like not even a month ago, like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I considered myself being a fat kid,
Yeah.
but I wasn't. That's so weird looking back on, is like, oh, like during that time I was so self-conscious of being like the fat kid, but it's like, no, I was like 140 and I just still had baby fat.
Yeah.
That made me look broad because I have broad shoulders, and like
Yeah.
that's why I always thought I was fat. But I was like, no, I was 160. I remember in middle school when we were in PE class, and I remember I stepped on the scale that he was doing, and this was like 8th grade. I was like 160, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm fat.
That's
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
I wasn't.
you just don't have like
You just see a
any
high
perspective.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just see a high number, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
So like that fucked with me for so long. Like,
I was like 220 at the end of 8th grade. Or no, not at the end, because that's when I lost weight. It was like in the middle of 8th grade.
I'll say right now, I'm close. Like, does it look like I'm close to 300 pounds to you guys?
No.
I am.
Really?
Last time I checked, I was 280 something, and since coronavirus hit, I've been in such a depression that like all I've been doing is like sitting in my house, like stress eating, and so like I'm guessing, I haven't weighed myself, but I'm guessing I'm like pushing 300. I don't really look like it, but it's like such a dude. Coronavirus was the worst thing that ever happened.
Yeah, it really it really kind of sucked ass.
Yeah.
It still does.
Because like how you like earlier before the podcast, how you were explaining how like you were like trying to fix your what was the thing where it was like not the one story, but it had something to do with taxes, like how you're trying to redo your taxes
I was
or whatever.
saying that I didn't submit my taxes and that I was afraid for my life because I hadn't paid them.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. As soon as I was about to start my life, because I didn't graduate high school on time, because going to that continuation school, they literally have you repeat 7th grade shit
Oh man.
every year. So I eventually just got bored of that and I wasn't trying again. So it was this big fucking loop of not trying in school. I'm just going back into the same place I was in middle school. So that happened and I was just like, oh fuck, this is bad. So I spent like another year doing high school, like finishing up on my credits, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm about to graduate. Soon as I was about to graduate, coronavirus hit. I don't have my driver's license. I don't know how to file taxes. I don't know.
Easy.
I don't know how to do shit, because as soon as I was about to start my life and finally feel free of all those years of being bullied, being fucking shit in school, not having school smarts, really, like, I was finally about to like go enjoy the
Like,
world,
break free. Yeah.
and this fucking happened.
Yeah, it's a total pain in the ass. I wanted to go back a few steps, and I think this should be the last story because we're running hella late right now.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation, by the way. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed.
We're ending off on a go. I thought we were gonna end off on jacking off stories.
So
I was
did
like, not again.
And then we just kept going.
we just kept on going. Now we're getting heartfelt.
You know,
Great place.
I don't like to say this because it's kind of weird because, you know, when I was a little kid, right, my sisters would always say that I was fat, right? And that has fucked me up so hard, like my entire life, right? I'm always thinking I'm fat. which is, Dane was talking about how he wore the rash guards when he did pool shit with people. I did the same thing.
That's such a weird way to explain it. Pool shit with people.
Well, whatever. But
You got the point.
I did fifth grade. We were invited to a pool party, for someone's birthday, right?
Yeah.
And we go, and I'm the only one there with like a fucking swimming shirt because I'm like, dude, I'm fat as fuck. I don't want people seeing fat, which I wasn't, but everyone told me, my own family told me I was.
Yeah.
So of course I'm like, fuck, I'm fat. And even though now I have all of the people around me, like Dane and Ty and Nate, I'm including Nate just because I'm being nice, who are like, no, you're not fat, bro. There's still.
Yeah.
Every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, man, I'm fat as fuck.
Same. I still think like that.
I just think
that's literally why. Okay, I'll just briefly say this. I got into like a long distance relationship, didn't even really know I was in a long distance relationship, and she'd always tell me like, you're not fat, like you don't look fat, and I was like, well, it's because you haven't seen me. And it like that sort of like those whole time where you're just like,
you were
you're
convincing
fat,
yourself
you're fat.
Yeah.
And you hear it from other people for like a good majority of your life, and then it stops, but you fucking
It's
think
like the things where it's like, oh, I can't, like, you get the gymnastics unit in PE and you're like, oh, I can't do that, I'm fat. Or it's like, oh, I can't climb this fence
It
because I'm fat.
fucks
It's
with
like,
you.
even if like you totally could, and you do, because you're usually peer pressured into doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you still think it. It's wild.
So yeah, maybe chill out when you're talking to young children.
Yeah.
Tell fat adults they're fat. Don't tell children they're fat, because that shit fucks them up.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it too is genetically when because my brother, he wasn't a big kid, but he was like, compared to my family, because we're pretty small people.
Yeah.
He was a little bit bigger, but I feel like genetically, like you were saying with the baby fat, like you're just like a heavier set child, but you're not fat.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing that fucked me
And
up
then,
on that.
but then someone like another fucking kid will be like, you're bigger than me, so you're fat.
Yeah.
But it's just their genetics are different.
I've always had friends
I called
who were
Jack
like,
fat, Nate.
This is true. That did happen. So I feel like then that kid, when they're like 8, they're like, oh, I'm fat. And
Yeah.
then they just slowly start telling themselves that they're fat. Same thing happens with kids that feel like they're bad at school. They'll get a bad grade in like first grade, and then the teacher will be like, well, you're just a bad student. They run with that until they're like in college. They're just like, I'm a bad student. I'm a bad student.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
And it
like that until
becomes-
third grade.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, it's hard to change that.
I got
because
put in
you're
the dumb
a child.
kids class in kindergarten. I was behind by like a full year going into kindergarten. In kindergarten, behind by a full year. How does that even work?
You fucking woke up during nap time, like
Yeah, it's shit like that too. It's not even academic stuff that I'll fuck you with. Anyways, thank you
said
guys.
blue was
Oh, hold
yellow.
on. What do you want to? Do you want to shout anything out?
Yes.
Yes, I would love to shout something out. Shout out the people that killed Jeffrey Epstein. We know you did it. And Adolf Hitler probably escaped to Argentina.
Well, at least some Nazis did.
So,
If you ever meet a white person in Argentina, run.
But they say they never found his skull. It was a woman's skull that's like.
Hitler was a.
Dude,
We're
we're
gonna
about to
get
go
too
into a
deep
deep
into some
rabbit
other
hole.
shit.
Have you seen what the fuck is that movie called? Mulan? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
A woman's like, I need to lead Germany and save the day, and she cosplayed as Hitler. Like that's the whole. It was a woman the whole time. The mustache is fake.
Also, you want me to say some shit that's like so dark that it'll get me to come back? That I'll explain next time I come back.
Okay.
Sure.
I was molested when I was 15. And
Guys, in the next episode.
And on that note,
on that note,
Thank you for joining us for the momentous episode 30.
Yeah, and maybe someday Dustin will come back and talk about how he was molested.
yep, how my cock was touched and not by me.
Bye.
We're gonna go cut some cake now.
Yep.
Yep.
Ty, if you listen to this episode, text every single one of us poo poo pee pee shire. Thank you.